Kung Fu Panda holds fond memories from many of our childhoods. Goofy humour, exciting action, and some good moral lessons for kids. But what if Kung Fu Panda could be more than that? What if it can serve as a gateway into something much deeper? First, a quick recap. The story follows Po, an overweight panda who dreams of becoming a Kung Fu warrior. By the hand of chance and fate, he is selected to become the Dragon Warrior, but all training goes horrendously. That is, until Master Shifu realizes that the reason the training goes so badly is because Po keeps trying too hard. By using Po's love of food to distract his focus, Shifu is able to make Po engage with his training without effort. This is what the ancient school of Chinese philosophy, Taoism, calls Wu Wei, or effortless action. The Taoists observed the flow of nature and understood that everything has its own rhythm, and that if you try to force something, you are most likely only holding it back. You must instead listen to its rhythm and let action flow from that rhythm instead of trying to control it. This is what Oogway teaches Shifu when he speaks of the peach tree. He urges Shifu to let go of the illusion of control, to accept that no matter what he does, he cannot pick the peaches before they are ripe, nor will a peach tree bring anything other than peaches. Thus, Shifu stops trying to force training onto Po, and Po stops trying to learn it. And by not trying, he is able to learn Kung Fu and eventually becomes the Dragon Warrior. This brings us to the Dragon Scroll, which, as we all know, is empty, much like how Po's dad's noodle soup doesn't have a secret ingredient. In the movie, this is presented in a very typical modern and Western way. Po doesn't have to be special, you just have to believe he is. In other words, all you gotta do is believe in yourself. But if we read this plot point through the Tao Te Ching, the foundational text of Taoism, the emptiness of the Dragon Scroll reveals a very different lesson indeed. The Tao Te Ching is structured into two parts representing yin and yang. A returning theme of the first half, representing yin, is the value of emptiness or nothingness in the production of matter. Take for example the second chapter, which goes like this. The whole world recognizes the beautiful as the beautiful, yet this is only the ugly. The whole world recognizes the good as the good, yet this is only the bad. Thus something and nothing produce each other. The difficult and the easy complement each other. The long and the short offset each other. The high and the low incline towards each other. Note and sound harmonize with each other. Before and after follow each other. Therefore the sage keeps the deed that consists in taking no action, and practices the teaching that uses no words. The myriad creatures rise from it, yet it claims no authority. It gives life, yet claims no possession. It benefits them, yet exacts no gratitude. It accomplishes its task, it claims no merit. It is because it claims no merit that its merit never deserts it. It is for this reason that Tai Lung is the villain of the movie. He desires to be the Dragon Warrior, to have that status, that merit. For much like him, Shifu decided to train the Dragon Warrior for the same reasons. The two of them, Shifu and Tai Lung, thus serve as dual antagonists for Po, the Dragon Warrior. They both represent what the Dragon Warrior must overcome in order to achieve the Dragon Scroll, namely, to desire it. This is why Tigress, in spite of being a great warrior, could never be the Dragon Warrior, for she desires it. Note here that it was only after Po abandoned the idea of learning Kung Fu that the path to mastering Kung Fu was open to him. Only by letting go of his dream was he able to achieve it. The movie may present Po's loss of faith in himself as something he needed to overcome, but the truth is the exact opposite. It was something he needed to achieve. Yet perhaps the most fascinating aspect of Kung Fu Panda is the fact that Po was able to defeat Tai Lung, even though Tai Lung had defeated the entirety of the Furious Five single-handedly, and Po had received minimal training. Unsurprisingly, the answer corresponds to a chapter in the Tao Te Ching. In the world there is nothing more submissive and weak than water. Yet for attacking that which is hard and strong, nothing can surpass it. This is because there is nothing that can take its place. The weak overcome the strong, and the submissive overcome the hard. Everyone in the world knows this, yet no one can put it into practice. As such, Tigris and the Furious Five cannot be Tai Lung, for they are not strong enough. Yet Po can defeat him, for he is weak enough. Straightforward words seem paradoxical. Now let us move on to the second Kung Fu Panda movie. This is my personal favourite of them so far. The fourth one hasn't come out yet, but anyway. Central to this movie is the Taoist theme of inner peace. Ultimately, this can be said to be what Taoism is all about: acceptance of the way things are and embracing the flow of life. Shifu explains to Po that inner peace can be achieved through either years of meditation or through intense pain. He gives his own experience of Po being chosen by Oogway as a dragon warrior as an example of intense pain that eventually led him to find inner peace. Po himself finds inner peace when he learns what happened to his parents, or rather, when he allows himself to remember the memories that were always with him in the first place. Both these examples are about allowing pain to flow and to accept the way things are, to stop resisting what cannot be denied. Fundamentally, the lesson of Kung Fu Panda 2 is that of acceptance. We see Po valorize Tigris for being hardcore, for punching hardwood trees for 20 years until she feels nothing. But Tigris responds by telling him that that is not for him. Po wants to be something he is not, to learn who he is from outside of himself. But this cannot be done. It is only when he accepts that he ceases to struggle. It is like if you try to control the flow of a river, control will always elude you. But if you surrender yourself to the river, you can use the river's power as your own, and you will have obtained control. This is also reflected in the third Kung Fu Panda movie, which sets 3 problems before Po. The first is in his struggle with his identity. The second is in his struggle with becoming a teacher. The third is in the imminent threat of Kai. The first 2 are tackled together, as Po has to learn the way of the panda, which is to relax, and teach the pandas to defend themselves against Kai. By embracing the pandas' quirks and using those quirks to teach them to defend themselves, Po learns to stop struggling against the flow, and instead embrace the stream, and thus he gains control over it. In stopping trying to change the pandas, Po is able to transform them. But this was only possible through first learning the way of the panda. See, the pandas have a natural affinity with the rhythm of nature, going with the flow, waking up when they feel like it, eating when they are hungry. At the surface, this appears as laziness, but it is actually this natural affinity with nature that allows them to master Qi even before Oogway did. As the movie tells us, Oogway was a warlord when he was young, which means that he tried to control the order of the world instead of living in harmony with it. It was the pandas that taught him a different way of life, and the pandas taught Po the same thing with relationship to his identity. To stop struggling with it, to stop trying to find it, but to simply accept it. And it was for this reason the pandas were able to access Qi, even though its secrets had long been lost since time, because the mastery of Qi was always within their reach. This brings us to Kai, Oogway's brother-in-arms, who saw that Qi could be taken. His entire character seems to be constructed around this characteristic, to take and to accumulate. Now take this passage from the Tao Te Ching. Rather than filling it to the brim by keeping it upright, better to have stopped in time. Hammer it to a point, and the sharpness cannot be preserved forever. There may be gold and jade to fill a hole, but there is none who can keep them. Observe then how it is Po defeats Kai, by giving him what he desires, and when Kai obtains everything he wants, he loses everything he has, including himself. The sage does not hoard. Having bestowed all he has on others, he has yet more. Having given all he has to others, he is richer still. Thank you for watching this video. My channel is 1 year old now, so if you'd consider subscribing, I'd really appreciate it. In any case, I hope you have a nice day and I'll see you soon. Bye!